Hey guys, good morning. It's Tony. This is going to be a really quick video, but before I start, I do want to say if you guys can give me a like, subscribe, and comment, definitely helps push out the videos to other people that enjoy it as much as you guys. It really just does take a second to like the video. So if you can please just, grab your finger, touch that like button. It really does help the channel grow, and I really do appreciate it. So with that being said, I am pretty bullish right now. Overall, like I said before, we did close at US 30, right? We did close at 2-week US 30. So definitely bearish on the bear side longer term, but shorter term, I'm definitely extremely bullish to the upside right now. Right now, I do think we are headed back to 414. We did break Darvis box to the upside. So I do think we are going back to this range, maybe possibly somewhere higher, maybe to like a 415 around this area, right? So I do think we're possibly headed back to somewhere like maybe right here or somewhere like right here, back on trend, 414, 415, especially if they're breaking the Darvis box, and the 8-hour is actually going to be closing in about an hour and 17 minutes. The DXY, again, on the 8-hour, it looks like it's going to be a little bit more on the bear side. The 4-hour is going to be closing in an hour and 17 minutes. And we also have it right on trend, right? So we do have it on this trend here. As you guys can see, that it actually is from a while ago on this 8-hour. I think it's hitting the 4-hour. Should actually be, is it hitting the 4-hour? This actually has to be a little bit lower because this should be hitting the 4-hour like right there. There you go. So it is hitting the 4-hour exactly. Right there. The 8-hour is about to turn bearish. The daily is actually going to be closing bearish today. Usually what happens on these big daily bearish closes, what happens on these dailies? So dailies, you have a big push down, right? Dailies, for instance, smallish push down. Let me see. Daily, sort of push down, daily, big. Yeah, so you usually have pretty big pushes down on the daily. Would not be surprised if the dollar comes right back down to maybe somewhere like a 103.0300, somewhere around this range. Just because you are hitting on trend, and it does look like, right, you are going to be closing a bear trigger. So I would definitely be, super long today, especially running towards CPI, which I think is, I don't know if it's tomorrow or Wednesday or Thursday. But overall, extremely bullish to the upside. Especially after breaking the Darvis box. Again, I am looking for, more bear side long term. So we could go up to this, right, somewhere up here, and then drop, right? That's more so what I am looking for, in something in that range where we jump up like that and then drop to the lower end, right? So, but we'll see what happens. We can look at, I haven't seen Tesla in a bit. Tesla, you're already pushing back up on Tesla right now. You did close the 8-hour. It did close the 8-hour, the daily. Also close the daily. So I would say I'm more bearish on Tesla going back to maybe like 179, 167. So I would say I'm more bearish on Tesla going back to here. Let me see if we can probably make this range a little bit better. So something like that. Yeah, I could probably see Tesla going back to something like a 180-ish, somewhere down there on trend. And then we can look at like Apple and Microsoft and see where everything else is kind of going. Apple, I think I have like an arrows here in Apple. Apple still bearish, right? So Apple, you're still bearish, but because SPY and the Nasdaq did close that, they are running on that 4-hour again. I can definitely see them running a little bit harder. Again, look at that. See, you do have the Nasdaq bumping up right here, and on the 4-hour you did have it close, right? So it was a perfect retest here, right? So perfect. You came back to trend, perfect retest, and it does look like you're headed back towards the upside. And I'd probably say somewhere like right there, right? I would definitely say you're headed somewhere back to like a 12.6 on the Nasdaq. I think Google got hit pretty hard, but we'll see what Google's at. Google's a little bit up on the market, a little bit on the higher end. But again, look at that. You did close that gap at 94.44. So you did close that gap. And it does look like it's headed back up, especially with the SPX and the Nasdaq together, right? Again, Amazon as well. Amazon, it does look like you're sort of on trend here. You might come back and fill this gap at 111 and then dropping all over again. But for the most part, again, you do look to be more on the bull side, especially if this SPX, especially if on this SPX 500. Like I said, this 8-hour is going to close in an hour and 13 minutes, man. So I'd be longing this the whole day long, right? The last time you closed this 8-hour, you ran from, you had a huge push from here, from lows to highs, you had a huge $14 push. If you have another $14 push, I mean, that's going to be pretty huge, right? I don't know if it's actually going to push $14. I'd be more okay with it going back to 414. $14, I mean, you would push in what, in 3 days? Like there? 14 bucks, like you would push there by, you know, in 3 days by the 15th, right? So by, what are we in right now? What's today's date? Today is the 12th. So, man, it's 12. 13th, 14th, so like Thursday. So by Thursday, if this 8-hour trigger does the same thing as last time, you know, you're going up $14, right? But I'd be more comfortable saying that you're more than likely probably gonna be pushing in the range of, like, let's say like this, like maybe like $10, something like that, $10, $7. Check out these other pushes on the 8-hour, right? 8-hour pushes, 8-hour closes. You close here on the 8-hour. Right, you're going up, Jesus, $22 in 5 days. These are pretty strong pushes, you know, which is kind of insane. Here, on the actual 8 hours, so I mean, I could definitely see this. You know, you're actually pushing on average, you know, $16. Man, that's kind of insane, actually. That's a lot. That's a big push up on all these 8-hour triggers. From here, you push the $10-ish. And then again here, you push the $15. I mean, so you're pushing $15 in 4 days, $10 in 6 days, $16 in 1 day, 22 bucks in 5 days, $10 in 1 day, $14 in so I mean, generally what you're pushing here is anywhere between $10 to $15 in about, you know, 2, 3, 4 days, which is kind of insane, to be honest. So for us to actually have something sort of similar to this would be absolutely destructive, man. Like, I mean, from these lows of 407, if you were to push $10, you're hitting back you're going back to 417, right? Which I can definitely see, but I mean, I guess if CPI comes in a lot lower, you can push extremely hard and it can cancel all the bearish movement, right? If CPI comes in again at something ridiculously lower, then yeah, you can definitely push push extremely hard. You know, you can push that $15, $16, $17. So I mean, after CPI comes out, I definitely put the range here at like 14 to like, let's go with this. So I mean, if CPI comes out good, I can definitely see from here, you know, we basically just do this 14 to like 20, again, like 22 bucks, like that. So I mean, by Friday, right, if we actually do push I mean, I'm bearish longer term, right? Shorter term, I do think we can go back to like 414, back on this range, back here, right? But if CPI, like I said last week, right, I do think we topped. CPI is going to be the winner here. If CPI comes in extremely low, right, which it can, I do think CPI is going to come in lower this month. Next month, I actually think it's going to hurt a little bit. But if this month, if CPI actually comes in lower, right, I'm not going to play CPI. It's too risky for me. I don't like it. I don't like playing all that volatility, right? But if CPI actually does come in lower, then these would probably be easy targets. 420 to like a 430 almost by Friday, which is absolutely ridiculous. And again, these are lotto tickets that you can probably buy today, right? You can probably buy today for these lotto tickets, and these might actually hit on Friday if CPI comes in a lot lower. So, I mean, that's something that I'm probably going to be interested in because I do think CPI is going to come in lower. And again, if CPI comes in lower, this completely destroys all of my bearish momentum, right? All that bearish talk that I had, you know, it would destroy it because you're going to see ridiculously huge pushes to the upside. But again, CPI comes in lower, I would not be surprised to see 421, 430 by the end of this week on Friday. So I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.